So, good morning, friends. Today we are going to discuss about slopes and deflections of cantilever beams. So, this is the topic which we are going to take up right now in this session. So, as mentioned in previous sessions, so cantilever is a beam that will be fixed at one end and will be free at another end. So, any beam which is fixed at one end and free at another end, that is referred to as cantilever. Now, in the previous sessions, so we have prepared, we have discussed about shear force and bending moment diagrams for cantilevers and simply supported beams. Now, right now, we have to talk about calculations of slope and deflection values for cantilevers as well as simply supported beams. Now, right now in this section, so we are going to discuss about the measurements or calculations of slope values and deflection values in the case of cantilever beams. Now, secondly, these values, just like SF and VM diagrams, so these values, namely slope values and deflection values, depend upon the type of load or loads acting on a beam. So, therefore, we have to talk about two types of loads. We have to recollect about two types of loads already dealt in previous sessions. So generally, loads acting on any beam, they are classified into two categories, namely point loads, also called as concentrated loads, and secondly, they are a second load, second type, that is referred to as uniformly distributed load, or simply it is called as UDL. So friends, loads are classified into two categories, point loads denoted by capital W and expressed in newtons. We are following SI system, so loads are expressed in terms of newtons. And secondly, UDLs, uniformly distributed loads, they are denoted by small w and expressed in terms of Newton per millimeter. So friends, we have to be careful with notations and units of point loads as well as uniformly distributed loads. So as I have already told you just now, point loads are denoted by capital W, expressed in terms of newtons. And similarly, uniformly distributed loads are denoted by small w and expressed in terms of Newton per millimeter. So now, as I've already told you, the slope and deflection values depend upon the types of loads or type of load, acting on the beam. So just now we have talked about the types of loads, namely point loads and UDLs. So therefore, slope and deflection values will be different for point loads and UDLs acting on cantilever. So therefore, firstly, we have to take up the study of point loads and do the measurement or note down the formula for slope and deflections. And finally, we have to take up a case of UDL acting on the cantilever, and we have to note down the formulas of slope and deflection values. So this section, it is, divided into two portions. Calculation of slope and deflection for a point load acting on the cantilever, and secondly, finally, calculation of slope and deflection for an uniformly distributed load acting on the cantilever. So these values will be different in different cases. So these values depend upon the types of load or type of load acting on a beam or acting on a cantilever. So firstly, we have to note down slope and deflection formulas for point load acting on the cantilever. And finally, we have to note down the formulas for formulae for slope and deflection of UDL, for UDL acting on the cantilever. So these are the topics to be covered in this particular session. So friends, we can see the arrangement of various beams. A very good table is given indicating the various types of beams and also types of loads acting on different beams. And as I've already told you, this slope and deflection values will be different for different beams. And also they will be different for different loads, acting on beams. So therefore, this is a very good table indicating the arrangement of beams and different loads acting on beams, and also for knowing the formulas of slope and deflection values for different beams under different conditions. So type of beam is given in the first column, and its bending moment values are very essential for doing slope and deflection calculations. We use an equation. In that equation, we have to make use of bending moment values. So its maximum values of bending moment also given in this table, and third column for indicating the slope values for different beams under different conditions, And last column used for indicating deflection formulae or deflection equations for different beams under different conditions. So friends, this table is very essential for memorizing, different beams, and also for memorizing, different loads acting on these beams, and also for memorizing its bending moment values, for memorizing slope values, and also finally deflection values for different beams under different conditions. So slope and deflection values will be different for different beams, and also for the same beam it will be different for different loads. That means if a point load is acting on a cantilever, we get these values. So these values, these formulas are useful for measuring slope and deflection. In the case of point load acting on the cantilever, and these equations very useful for making slope and deflection calculations when UDL is acting on the cantilever. So both the figures indicate the position of the cantilever, but point load is acting on this cantilever and UDL is acting on this cantilever. So we are getting different formulas for different loads acting on the cantilever. This is the formula for point load acting on the cantilever, and this is the formula. This is the formula for slope formula for UDL acting on the cantilever. And similarly, deflection formulas also. This is the deflection formula for point load acting on the cantilever. And finally, this is the deflection formula for uniformly distributed load. This is the uniformly distributed load acting on the cantilever. So this is the figure which indicates point load acting at the free end of the cantilever, and this figure is representing an uniformly distributed load acting for the entire length of the cantilever. So friends, if a point load is acting on the cantilever, we have to use these two formulas for measuring slope and deflection values. And if an UDL is acting on the cantilever, we have to use these formulas for measuring the slope and deflection values. So the beam in both the cases, the beam is one and the same. So this is called as a cantilever, and this is also called as a cantilever. But point load is acting on the cantilever here. UDL is acting on the cantilever. So if point load is acting on the cantilever, we have to use these two formulas for measuring slope and deflection values. And if UDL is acting on the cantilever, we have to use these two formulas for measuring slope and deflection values. So friends, these formulas will be different for different beams. But also in the case of a same beam, it will be different for point loads and as well as uniformly distributed loads. So slope and deflection values depend upon the type of the beam taken into consideration, and also these values depend upon the type of load that is acting on the top surface of the beam. So friends, these formulas to be used for solving problems on point loads acting on cantilever. These formulas to be used for solving problems on UDLs acting on cantilevers. So friends, this is a very nice table. We are getting consolidated information of what we are going to discuss in the next in this session as well as coming sessions. So friends, as given in this table, the case of a point load of a cantilever, slope is given as WL square by 2EI, and deflection it has to be taken as WL cube by 3EI. And similarly, if UDL is acting on the cantilever, we have to use this formula. The slope value will be equivalent to WL cube by 6EI, and we have to take this formula for measuring the deflection value. That is, the deflection value must be taken as WL4 by 8EI. So friends, these formulas to be used in the case of point loads on acting on cantilevers. And these formulas to be used for uniformly distributed loads acting on cantilevers. So these values not only depend upon the type of the beam taken into consideration, but also they depend upon the type of load acting on the top surface of the beam. So friends, this entire information is given, and also we have information regarding simply supported beams. So that and all we will be dealing in the coming sessions. But right now we have to take up the study of these two topics, second topic and the third topic. So the second topic, where point load is acting on the cantilever, and the third topic where UDL is acting for the entire length of the cantilever. So we have to memorize these formulas, slope and deflection formulas to be used in the case of cantilevers. These formulas to be used for point loads acting on cantilevers, and these formulas to be used only for UDLs, acting on cantilevers. So friends, this is a very nice table indicating the arrangement of beams and various loads acting on beams, and finally slope and deflection formulas. Slope and deflection formulae or slope and deflection equations for different beams under the action of different loads or under different conditions. And finally, friends, these are the notations to be used for indicating the slope values and deflection values. So generally theta, the letter theta is used for indicating the slope of the beam. Generally letter small y has to be used for indicating the deflection of a given beam, deflection values of a given beam. So theta is given in this table, but here this notation is mentioned as delta. So it's like D for deflection, But however, we'll be doing some kind of integration. So we get the values in terms of small y. So therefore, instead of delta, small y can be used for representing the values of deflection. And of course, theta, the letter theta can be used for indicating the slope values of different beams. So friends, we find all the values they are written in terms of theta. So theta has to be used for indicating the magnitude of the slope. And similarly, letter small y can be used. Delta is used for indicating deflection, but small y can be used for indicating the deflection values of different beams under different conditions. And finally, friends, the units are very, very important. So this slope values, they are always expressed in terms of radians, and deflection values to be expressed in terms of millimeters. So slope values in all these cases, so it can be a cantilever, or it can be a simply supported beam, it can be a point load, or it can be a uniformly distributed load. All the beams, in all the cases, this slope value, it has to be, these values must be expressed only in terms of radians. And deflection figures, generally they are expressed in terms of millimeters. So notations are very, very important. The units are very, very important. Equations, formulae are very, very important, and definitions are also, very, very important for dealing with these topics. So friends, these are the calculations which we are supposed to make while solving problems on cantilevers and simply supported beams. Also in the case of point loads and uniformly distributed loads. Certainly we have to depend upon these formulas. A very nice table for memorizing, all this important information, very, very essential for solving problems on this particular chapter. And secondly, we can see these parameters, capital W. So that is a point load acting on the beam, as I've already told you, point load acting on the beam denoted by capital W. But here UDL is acting, it has to be, shown as a small w. So we have to indicate the difference between point load and uniformly distributed load. So always capital W to be used for indicating point loads acting on the beam, and small w to be used for indicating UDLs acting on the beam. So this point load will be expressed in terms of newtons, and UDLs, as discussed in previous sessions, UDLs always will be expressed in terms of Newton per millimeter. And secondly, we have this parameter, that is capital L, for indicating the total length of the beam, that is called as a span of the beam. So this is the fixed end of the cantilever, this is the free end of the cantilever. The point load is acting at the free end of the cantilever. So the distance between these two ends that is used for indicating will be representing the total length of the beam. Capital L or small l can be used for indicating the total length of the beam. That's called as a span of the beam. And in this chapter, it is expressed in terms of millimeters. And similarly, here also, you can see the fixed end and free end of the cantilever. UDL is acting for the entire length of the beam. So again, here also the distance between fixed and free ends of the cantilever will be representing the total length of the beam. So that is capital L or small l is always used for indicating the total length of the beam, and it is expressed in terms of millimeters. And finally, the third parameter, friends, this is called as Young's modulus, capital E, for representing the Young's modulus. Young's modulus for the material of the beam. So it is expressed in Newton per millimeter square. And here we have one more parameter, that is capital I, for indicating the moment of inertia of the section. And that has to be expressed in terms of millimeter to the power of 4. So friends, this loads will be expressed, point load will be expressed in terms of Newton, and UDL to be expressed in terms of Newton per millimeter, length of the beam to be expressed in millimeter, and Young's modulus to be expressed in Newton per millimeter square. And finally, moment of inertia will be expressed in terms of millimeter to the power of 4. So in all these formulas, friends, in all these formulas, we find only 4 parameters. One is load acting on the beam, and the other one is the total length of the beam, and the third one is Young's modulus of the material of the beam, and finally the fourth parameter, that is moment of inertia of the section. So for making any calculation, for making all calculations, basically we need 4 parameters: load acting on the beam, total length of the beam, Young's modulus of the material, and moment of inertia of the section. So kindly look at this table, all the formulas, all the slope formulas and all the deflection formulas for cantilevers and simply supported beams, point loads and UDLs. In all the cases, this slope and deflection values are expressed in terms of 4 parameters: load acting on the beam, total length of the beam, Young's modulus of the material of the beam, and finally moment of inertia of the section. So all these things, numericals are changing here. 2, 3, 6, 8, 16, 48, 24, 5 by 384. Only these values are changing, but those parameters are very, very important. Load acting on the beam, length of the beam, Young's modulus, moment of inertia. These 4 parameters are appearing in all the equations in all these situations. So friends, this is about this preparation of the table. So friends, now we are going to discuss about slope and deflection equations for point load acting at the free end of the cantilever. So in this, you can refer the second figure. So second, in the case of the second figure, point load is acting at the free end of the cantilever. So for this case, we have to prepare these 2 equations for measuring slope and first equation for measuring slope value, and second equation for measuring deflection value. So here, I mean, these equations are given, as I've already told you in the previous slide. So this theta is used for indicating the slope in radians. This is also called as dy by dx. And y is used for indicating the deflection to be expressed in millimeters. And of course, we have a conversion between degrees and radians. 180 degrees is equivalent to pi radians. This is the standard conversion factor. So using this relation, we can convert the value either from degrees to radians, or also it is possible to convert the units from radians to degrees. So this is a wonderful equation which indicates the relation between degrees and radians. So however, as far as our chapter is concerned, slope values always they are expressed in terms of radians. And theta is used for indicating this parameter. So it is a derivative of this deflection. So also it is written as dy by dx. And similarly, y has to be used, small letter y to be used for indicating deflection that has to be expressed in millimeters. And we have all these factors, capital W for indicating point load at the free end of the beam, that is expressed in newtons, and capital L or small l for indicating the total length of the beam, so to be written in terms of millimeters. Capital E for indicating Young's modulus of the material, to be expressed in Newton per millimeter square. Capital I for indicating the moment of inertia of the section, that has to be expressed in terms of millimeter to the power of 4. So friends, these are the parameters which we are supposed to use for obtaining all these formulas for slope and deflection. So in the case of any load acting on the top surface of any beam. So now we are going to talk about a point load acting on the cantilever. So for this situation, we have to write down the formulas for slope and deflection. That means we have to prepare slope and deflection equations for a point load that is acting at the free end of the cantilever. So friends, for that we have to use these two relations. We have one relation, EI d square y by dx square. It has to be written as mx. So this is nothing but bending moment at any section at a distance of x meter from the free end of the beam. So bending moment at any section at x meter from the free end of the beam, that is called as mx. So as done in the case of SF and BM diagrams, we have to consider a section xx at a distance of x meter from the free end of the beam. So by doing so, we can write a bending moment equation at this particular section. So it is given as minus capital W into small x. So friends, we can take any section xx at a distance of x meter from the free end of the cantilever. So bending moment is nothing but a force into perpendicular distance. So this point load capital W is acting in downward direction, and the distance between the section and this point load, we have taken it as x millimeter. So therefore, it is written as a product of capital W and small x. Now this load is acting in downward direction. It will result in clockwise movement. So negative sign must be allotted to clockwise movement. So friends, it is mx. It is written as wx. So these are the two equations. This is the first equation, and we have to take this value in this equation for getting the final results. So these are the parameters required for when doing calculations, and these these are the equations. First equation, and this is the second equation required for obtaining slope and deflection equations in different situations. So here we are going to get the slope and deflection equations for a point load that is acting at the free end of the. So just now, friends, we have talked about the important equations in the previous slide. So we have talked about this equation, and also we have talked about this value. So this is nothing but mx. So according to the first equation, this value must be equivalent to mx, and mx is in the previous slide, mx is obtained as a minus wx. Therefore, we are we are merging the two equations, and we are getting this final equation. Now this is a final equation. We have to make integration. So we have to make integration for the first time. So it is written as EI. It will be EI dy by dx. That will be equivalent to minus wx square by 2 plus c1. Integral of x is x square by 2. So therefore, it is written as minus wx square by 2 plus c1. And at x is equivalent to L, this theta will be equivalent to 0. So therefore, this C1 will be obtained as WL square by 2. And again, you substitute this value in this equation. So therefore, EI theta can be written in the form of this equation. Now, at x is equivalent to 0, we are moving from free end to the fixed end of the beam. So that is at x is equivalent to 0, the theta will be maximum. The slope of the beam will be maximum. So therefore, EI theta max, you substitute the value, take the value of x as 0 in this equation. So ultimately, you will be left with this value, WL square by 2. Finally, theta max, it is obtained as WL square by 2EI. So this is already we have noted down in the table of the second slide. So this is already given in this the table. So slope value for point load acting on the cantilever is given as WL square by 2EI. So we are this way we are getting these values. Friends, we can put the individual equations. The W is in newtons, L square in millimeter square. The value of capital E Newton per millimeter square. The value of capital I, that is moment of inertia in millimeter 4, will be left with no units. So therefore, theta is said to be expressed in terms of radians. So friends, this is the way of, it's very difficult to remember all these formulas. So using fundamentals and these methodologies, should be in a position to derive correct equations in the examinations. So then we can use these equations and solve the problem and you will be in a position to get correct results in the examination. So finally, we got this value. This is the value, slope formula for measuring the slope of the beam when a point load is acting at the free end of the cantilever. Now again, deflection, coming to the deflection. So we got this equation in the previous slide. So we have to integrate, do again integration. So integration dy by dx, it will be coming to y. So it's ei into y. So it is written as this value. So integral x square will be x cubed by 3. So totally it will be coming to minus x cubed by wx cubed by 6. And this will be coming to product of this value and small x plus c2. And we have to take the limits of x at x is equivalent to L, y will be equivalent to 0. So therefore, C2 will be, by making all these substitutions and rewriting these equations, C2 will be obtained as minus WL cubed by 3. And so therefore, EI into Y, this is written in this fashion. Now, in this equation, x is taken as 0. So if x is taken as 0, we'll be getting the maximum value of deflection. So therefore, EI into Y max will be equivalent to, it will be coming to W into L cubed by 3. So by making all these substitutions, take x as 0. So both the things will be getting vanished, and you will be left with only this parameter. So therefore, EI Y max is written as this parameter. So from this Y max, it is written as minus WL cubed by 3 by T into EI. So friends, this formula also we have seen in the first table. So here load is expressed in newtons, L cube expressed in millimeter cube. As usual, E value expressed in Newton per millimeter square, and I value, moment of inertia expressed in millimeter 4. So by simplifying all these individual units, so we'll be left with millimeters. So always deflection has to be expressed in terms of millimeters. So friends, in the previous slide, we got a formula for measurement of slope value, and here we are getting the formula for measurement of deflection in the case of a point load that is acting on the cantilever. So friends, here also now these are the last two slides. We have to talk about the slope formula for UDL, that is acting on the entire length of the beam. So you have to take the third point in the table. So this is the UDL acting for the entire length of the beam. So you have to get the slope value as WL cubed by 6 EI, and deflection value to be obtained as W, small w, which is UDL, so it has to be represented with small w. So it has to be obtained as small w into L4 by 8 EI. So here also we have to take a section at a distance of x meter from the free end. So therefore, UDL will be acting for x meter. So therefore, it is written as small w into small x. So now we have to find out the bending moment. It has to be taken as a point load. So it becomes small w into small x. It is acting at a midpoint of that particular distance of x meter. So it has to be taken as x by 2. So wx into, x by 2. So wx into x by 2, it is obtained as wx square by 2. So therefore, here we are getting this formula. So therefore, it is written as w minus wx. So it is, so friends, I have already told you it is taken as wx. We are now this UDL, it is acting for a distance of x meter. We are considering a section xx at x meter from the free end of the beam. So this UDL has to be taken for a distance of x millimeter. So therefore this is millimeter. Sorry, my dear friends, this is millimeter. So it has to be taken as a millimeter. Always it has to be taken as a millimeter. Now it is becoming wx, and it is acting at midpoint x by 2. So mx will be coming to minus wx square by 2. So negative sign for clockwise moment. So therefore, it is ei d square y by dx square. It is nothing but mx. Mx is obtained as minus wx square by 2. So therefore, it is written in this particular form. Now we are integrating this equation. It is coming to this form. Now x is equivalent to L dy by dx will be equivalent to 0. That will theta will be equivalent to 0. So using this relation, we get the value of C1. Again, substitute the value of C1 in this major equation. You get the final equation for the slope value. And in this equation, take the value of x as 0. And if x is taken as 0, we get the maximum value of the slope. So therefore, ei theta max, it is written as WL cube by 6. Therefore, theta max, it is obtained as WL cube by 6 EI. So friends, this is already mentioned in the first table, which we have seen in the second slide. So this formula to be used for UDL, which is acting for the entire length of the cantilever. So this is the way of getting this slope equations. And finally, again, we have to do this integration. So it will be obtained in the form of C2. And again, at x is equivalent to 0, deflection, x is equivalent to L meter, deflection will be 0. So substituting all these values of x and y, so C2 will be obtained in this fashion. You have to substitute again in this equation. Finally, this equation is written in this particular form. And in this equation, take x value as 0. You get the maximum value of deflection. So EI into Y max is written as WL4 by 24 minus WL4 by 6. That is coming to minus WL4 by 8. So EY I max is equivalent to this value. So Y max, it is written as minus WL4 by 8 EI. So friends, in the case of UDL acting on the cantilever, theta is obtained as WL cube by 6 EI, and Y value it is obtained as minus WL4 by 8 EI. So these values are already, shown here. So we got this value WL cube by 6EI. Also, we got this value also WL4 by 8EI in the last slide. And before that, we have measured the values, these values for point load acting on the cantilever. This slope value is obtained as WL square by 2EI. And the deflection value is obtained as WL cube by 3EI. So friends, we got these values, these formulas for point loads acting on the cantilever. We got these formulas for uniformly distributed loads, acting on the cantilevers. So only thing is capital W to be used for indicating point loads and small w to be used for indicating uniformly distributed loads. So here we have to use capital W's and here we have to use small w's. And of course, all other things will remain same. But the thing is, instead of using delta, small letter y can be used for indicating the value of functions. So friends, we have noted down the slopes and deflection values for point loads acting on the cantilever. Also, we have noted down slope and deflection values for uniformly distributed load acting on the cantilever. So friends, we have come to the end of this session. I thank you all for watching this session. Thank you.